What's up, you guys? I hope you're having a fantastic day. If you're new here, my name's Julie and I'm a novice sewist who's working towards making my fantasy wardrobe a reality. We are jumping right back into Battle of the Wrap dresses with our second dress and our first paper pattern dress. So the pattern that we're going to be making is this one here, and we're going to be making it's pattern M7745. And because this is a paper pattern, I won't be cutting into the paper. I'm going to trace it with tracing paper onto paper and then cut those out so that I can keep this pattern in case I need it for anybody else, because it's bananas to in this. You know, we have all these PDF sewing patterns, and it would be just a shame to cut into the paper when you can, and then you can only use it for that one size. So to keep the integrity of the pattern, I'm gonna trace the pattern pieces. Hi, are you gonna hang out with me? Sweet boy. Okay, so when you are tracing patterns from a paper pattern so that you don't have to cut into the paper, I found that these things, these little nail dot, can't really see. These little nail dot things, they're not sharp. They just have this little dot on the end here. This one's even smaller. And you can order them for cheap off Amazon. They work so well for this. They don't tear the pattern. They very, very nicely put on the tracing charcoal stuff. They make that show up real nicely, and that's what we're gonna do now. I've got this skirt already traced out. I need to shorten it because I want it to be kind of like a mid-thigh flirty length, because the satin that I'm gonna be using is kind of heavy. I'm going to finish tracing out the top, and then we'll adjust the skirt, and then I'm really excited for this one. This one's so cute and flirty. It's so cute because I am incredibly lacking in the boob area. I'm going to be cutting out the A-B cup. Okay, so I need 6 and 7 off of this. So we'll do this one first.
Every day we escape, losing all of our faith. We can't live this way. Feel me slowly fade away. Feel me slowly fade away. 'Cause first the wind will take me. Every day I feel time slipping, passing, skipping by.
And there you go, all traced out. I always retrace them just so that it's very clear where things are. And then you just gotta put on your instructions and your pattern number and what to do with it, and yeah, there you go, pattern piece done. Now I have to do the rest of them. Okay, so one of the categories we are drugging? We are not drugging anything, sir. One of the things we are judging patterns on is their modification easeability, to which I say this pattern simultaneously is really good and really terrible. You have this line on your pattern that says shorten or lengthen. It's when you trace out, there will be a line on your pattern that just goes across and goes shorten or lengthen. And lengthen is easy. You just cut down the line, put a space between them, put a paper under them, and then tape them back and draw the lines to connect. Totally easy, makes perfect sense. However, for shortening the length, which I've done with the skirts because I wanted just a cute little flirty mid-thigh length, when you do, you end up with something like this. You end up with some overhang on the dresses, which can make somebody who doesn't know what the heck they're doing panic. Not me, though. Of course not. So I called the master sewist, and she told me that how you do this is you just connect. Oh, everything's so bright. You just draw a line from here, meeting in this corner, a straight line, and then you just trim it. And that's how you do that. So that's how you do that. I'd give it like an 8 at this point on modifications, simply because there were a lack of instructions on how to do that. But awesome. 10 out of 10 for having those modifications and planning for those already. Like there's even in the waist, if you've got a really long torso, you can lengthen the waist. I want the straps longer so that it hangs just a little bit lower. So I adjusted the straps, which is also something to do. They have made it really easy to adjust things longer. So 10 out of 10 for that. But it goes down to an 8 out of 10 for me not being able to figure out what to do and panicking. So, I mean, I didn't panic. I was fine.
All the words I could say just can't really seem to stay. Feel me slowly fade away.
I have all the pattern pieces cut out, and I have all the fabric cut out, and I have all of the pattern pieces marked. There are a lot more markings on the commercial patterns than the smaller brand patterns, for sure. I had to call my mom several times to be like, what does this mean? I don't know. And she had to explain it to me, like little dots and what they mean. And so definitely was not expecting that. In that case, it is a bit more confusing doing the commercial brand patterns if you haven't ever done them before or didn't learn how to read them, or yeah, so that's definitely a little bit more confusing. So it's definitely a check in the wrong box of being easy for beginners, but I think we got it all figured out now. I got them marked with, you guys, I got heat erase markers. I'm so excited. I got a whole bundle of stuff with Tailor chalk and stuff, so I'll leave that below. It was actually a really good price, and they work. I tested them. So I marked them with that, and hopefully I can still see the markings and everything's going to be good, because I used the blue on top of blue, and just in case it didn't erase after I left it for a while. So that's what we're doing, and we are going to jump in first. What did they tell us to do first? Where's my paper? Okay. If I'm being honest, I didn't know commercial patterns came with instructions. Because I had never sewn before, but I'd help my mom sew. So I'd like iron stuff and cut stuff out and do all that. And I never saw her looking at instructions. I thought they just didn't have any and you just had to know how to put it together. So I was pleasantly surprised by that not being the case. Okay. That's upside down. That's step 36. Holy sh! That's step 6. I'm missing 1 to 5. No, that is in a different language. But if you're wondering, there are instructions in Spanish. Okay, here we go. Don't panic. I got distracted. Okay, what am I doing? That's not these instructions yet. That's these. Right. Darts. Okay. This is the front bodice. Where are my dart lines? So that's my middle line. Bad news, the markings have disappeared, so it must be a time thing too, where they'll just disappear over time, because they all gone. So I'm gonna have to use chalk as much as I did not want to. And then I'm just gonna have to line stuff as we go so that I make sure that it is actually, lined. Okay, after much consulting, I figured out where I'm a little confused. So instead of ties, because they asked for ribbon and I didn't know that. I didn't look. I should have looked. My bad. They asked for ribbons instead of ties. So I was like, oh, I'll just cut ties. But these aren't finished ribbons, and it looks like the ribbon that they're asking for is thinner. And then it looks like you just attach on the inside and you tie the inside to the inside and then the outside to the outside, I think. I think that's how we're doing this. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do these first to get them done and out of the way, and then we will get started on the dress. I legitimately completely forgot how to make straps. I haven't just done it 100 times. Nope, completely forgot. Spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out how to make a strap and trying to turn it, and the satin kept fraying, and I almost gave up and ordered ribbon, and I got there in the end. Look how pretty they look. They're so nice. My brain's a fun place to be. Now that I have those done, next is the darts that I have to sew in to the lining. So I'm going to do that now for both of them. So we have the left bodice piece here, and the tie is going to, we're going to put a stay stitch here to keep this tie in on the inside. So you'll tie it on the inside and then you'll tie it on the outside. So there'll be 2 ties instead of making a buttonhole and putting the buttonhole through and wrapping it around, or putting the strap through and wrapping around and tying it on the side. You'll tie it on the inside and then you'll tie it on the outside, and straps will be attached in those places. So the strap is going to go, honestly, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what's happening. Okay. Side seam, strap pinned to the side seam here on the inside. Like this, where that circle is. I hope. Anyway, I don't know. So I'm going to stay stitch that, and then we're going to sew the bodices together. If sometimes my light is just super bright, I live up in Canada, where we don't see the sun for, well, 10 out of the 12 months. So I use a sunlight to make sure that I'm getting enough sun, because we get the SADs up here real bad. Where are my Canadian folks? True to form. It would not be a project with me if I wasn't seam ripping, so I forgot which way was left, and apparently put the strap on the right, and then sewed up the left, so this is why I make a straight stitch before I ever zigzag anymore. I've been burned before. It's got to go in between the lining anyway, so maybe that was a blessing in disguise, because I did not have it between it. I have the seams all ironed in now. I sort of get why you use a bigger seam allowance, because it's easier to iron the seams with a bigger seam allowance, but it just seems like such a waste of fabric. So I'm just going to trim the seam allowance, and then I'm going to zigzag the edges with my favorite number 8 stitch. It's kind of like triangles. It sews both there and straight, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to trim them and then zigzag them, and then we're going to basting stitch the bottom bodice, and then we are moving on to a different piece. I got the top done and the bottom piece basted, and now we're going to do the exact same thing to the lining with strap and all. I have never had such a bad time with a pattern as I am having with this one. This was supposed to be my easy one, and it's not. And I don't know if it's me or if it's the pattern. I keep getting them confused about what goes where and where's up and where's down, and I can't keep anything straight. And I've looked at these pattern pieces so many times, and I just keep messing it up. On the front one, the one that was supposed to be the outside, I accidentally got the back wrong. I got it upside down. There we go. I got it backwards, so the armhole's on the bottom, and I can't seam rip it. It's too late. I zigzagged the edges, and the damage is done. So I'm gonna hope that when I sew them together, that sort of fixes itself, because my bad. We're just gonna steamroll ahead. Fingers crossed. And if I sew it together and it doesn't look okay, then I guess I'm gonna have to cut another one. I just don't want to. But I will if I have to. So the next thing they have us doing is sewing. It's gonna be so cute. It's gonna be so cute though. Look. Oh, it's so cute. The next thing they have us doing is sewing reinforcements into the flounces. I don't really know what that means, so I'm just gonna stitch. The master sewer said to stitch a stitch line outside the seam allowance to the closer to the other edge, where indicated. So it looks like on the sides here is where it's indicated, and in this small circle in here is where it's indicated. So I've just sewn little stitches in here just because that's where they indicated they have to be, and that's what my mom said. It's just to sew a line of stitches outside the seam allowance to help with stress. I don't understand. I hope clarity comes to me with project completion, but who knows. Next, we are going to be sewing the ends together of the flounces. I feel a bit like I'm going to be struck by lightning. Things are staticky over here. It's a very, very dry winter. Now that we've seamed the edges where the shoulders are going to be, because that's where that hem is, we're now going to hem the outside, so the all the way around. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew all the way around with seam allowance, which is, for the hem, it is 1/2 inch. And then we are going to trim it and then fold it over so it's like that little itty bitty satin rolled hem that you can do, or I think you can do it on chiffon too. Sorry guys, before I started this, I just poked myself in the eye and it hurts. I have the edges all sewn and trimmed, and now I just have to roll that hem over and hem it. So I'm going to do that now. We are gonna start the flounces from scratch. I'm gonna recut them. I'm gonna re-sew them. I have a rolled hem foot in the mail. It will be here in 2 days. So that will handle that for the stuff that I have to hem. But also, the instructions told me to sew in a seam allowance and then trim, which cut off like this much. And I liked it longer. And now that's even just this much of a difference. And I'm like, no, I don't like it as much. I wanted the flounces were long and pretty and feminine. And now they're just kind of almost childish. I know that is probably just my brain, and that's okay. So I have more fabric. I'm just going to take it on the chin and cut out some new stuff. And then we will work on it better when those two things are done. Minnie, you're so grouchy. If there's one thing to take from this, it is trust your instincts. Because I was like, I don't know that I want this much cut off, but that's what the instructions say. I don't know that I want this much cut off, but that's what the instructions say. So trust your instincts. When I lean in on my sewing machine like this, you know it's gonna be real talk. So I got my hem roll foot in, which is so cool, but it takes so much practice to figure out how to get it properly. I have literally been working on these flounces nonstop 4 days. This is my third time recutting these flounces. And if I have to do it again, I swear I'll sob. But I finally got it working, and I got it looking, look at how nice it looks. It looks so good. It looks so cool and like dainty. It looks so nice. And then my bobbin ran out, and I had to rewind my bobbin, and then everything went to hell again. If you're at home with a project, if you're watching this, you're like, man, that project is just, it's just, I hear you. I am here right now. And we're going to take a deep breath. And make one of two choices. You can either go, this is not my problem today, and you can set it aside and go to sleep and try again tomorrow. That helps. Or you can say, if I don't get through this, I'm never going to come back. And then we're just going to get through it. I'm there. I was in the other place prior, but now I'm there. So we're just gonna truck through. I'm literally 2/3 of the way done this. 2/3. Listening to, I don't know what kind of music, screamo music, metal music, I don't know. I don't really judge my music by style. I'm really bad at picking out like what style's what. I just like what I like, and I have a very eclectic taste in music. You know those TikToks that are like, oh, I listen to everything. It's like, do you really though? And it's like, yeah, I really do. Bring on the bard dubstep. Bring on the Viking music. Bring on the Tibetan throat singing. I am here for it. So put on your let's go music and let's go. It is the next morning. I am slightly frazzled. I have 2 pairs of slippers and I can only find one. Not one pair, one slipper. So I am wearing one slipper. My studio is a disaster. I have this blue fuzzy stuff everywhere. But it's done. It's done. And it looks very very pretty. Is it perfect? No. No, it's not perfect. Am I okay with that? Yes. Yes, because I am done. I am at the point where I'm like, it is good enough. I don't care, but like, look at how pretty that's going to be. I'm very excited. It's so pretty. Okay, next is, I don't even know. With right sides up, pin flounce to bodice. Okay, so I can tell which one is the bad one because of how the lining goes. Okay, this is the front. You guys can't see it, but like, there's a disaster. Oh, I got fuzz in my drink. Oh, that's not my drink. That's my drink. How long has that been there? Okay, moving on. I have had to pin this where it makes sense for my body because I cannot make sense of the pins, the darts. It's not clear what you were supposed to be matching up in my brain. I can't make sense of where things look like they should be. Is it going to be cute? Look at this. Yes. Yes, it is. It's going to be flipping adorable. If you have the will, fortitude, and the strength to persevere through this pattern. Part of that is my fault because I didn't have a rolled hem and I didn't know how to use roll hem and I went through a lot of fabric trying to use a roll hem. That's on me. That's my bad. We'll just keep going. We'll just keep going. We have no other choice at this point. What? No, don't, no. What do you want? Okay, so we're doing the straps next. So I'm just gonna fold it like bias tape and then fold it and stitch it down and it's gonna be just fine. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that and then what we're gonna do is attach these by basting and attach the leftover 2 straps by basting as well. And then we attach the lining to the dress. So I'm gonna go do all the straps and then we're gonna attach the lining. All these problems I've been having, I'm stress flaring. All these problems that I've been having could be very much my fault. Turns out the back piece isn't just the same on both ends. So when I accidentally reversed it, it was bigger on one end. So now I have extra fabric in the back on both sides, about this much. So I'm just gonna dart this up on either end. I've semi-tried it on, and I'm hoping that like that will, it looks like it's going to be just fine. It's going to fit. It may be a little bit lower cut. Yeah, I'm going to dart those up, and then I'm going to sew across the top, leaving the edges here so that I can try it on and adjust the sleeve, the straps to where I want it. Oh my goodness, it is so stinking cute. Oh, so cute. Okay, I need to finish these seams, so I'm gonna fix some seams here and then zigzag the edges so that everything is all snug, and then we are going to move on to the skirt. We are almost done. See, it ties on the inside like this, and then you wrap it around and tie it. So cute. I did the understitching or top stitching. I'm not sure what's the difference, but it definitely flattened out the seams, which was really nice. And it looks so cute on. Let's dive into the skirt and let's get this dress done. I'm so excited. I have this skirt sewed together. It looks so cute. It might be a bit shorter than I wanted. We're gonna have to see when we tie it. It may be flashing some people, but we'll have to see where it sits when it's all put together. So I've got the hem all rolled. Man, does this save time once you figure out how to do it. It's so easy once you figure it out. So that's all done. Now I just have to attach it to the waistband. I have to gather it and attach it to the waistband and then flip the lining over and then sew the lining so that the skirt is in between the lining and the bodice. So I'm going to do that, gather the skirt and then sew it together and then we'll be done. I'll be able to clean up this dress mess that ended up being my studio, and we'll try it on. Look at how stinking cute it turned out. Oh, it's so cute. I love the flounces. It's so cute. I love this back. It just, something about it just looks so cute. It's definitely not dress length by any stretch of the imagination, but I absolutely love the length of this. I think it is. Was this pattern so difficult? Yes, it was. Did it turn out adorable? Yes, it did. Look at it. Oh, I love the flounces. I'm not usually one for flounces, so that's kind of, I was surprised that I love that about this. Like, I'm very surprised that I love the flounces, because I've never been that kind of flouncy, I've never been a flouncy girl, but I am sold now. Okay, let's get into the rating. I'm definitely gonna try some like cinematography stuff at the end of this. Can't go outside because it's still winter here, but soon we'll get some more outside shots. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. How easy, clear were the instructions? I'm going to give that a 2. I almost quit. This was so hard. I'm not sure if that's a pattern problem or if it's a me problem. Could be a mix of both. Who knows? But I'm going to give it a 2 for this. Was it easy to customize? I mean, sure, I made it a little shorter, but like, I don't know with this pattern whether I would have wanted to customize it any more than that. I guess I could have made it like longer or shorter, and there were like a bunch of like options. Like, I'm gonna give it a 7 because it did have a couple like different top options and skirt options. So I'm gonna give it a 7. Price? Who knows? Who knows what the price was? Who knows how long this has been sitting in my mom's stuff? Okay. This printed version of this is $20 US. I don't know what that would be in Canadian. 25, I guess. So about the same price as it would be now. So probably not super long that she's had it. I mean, I'm gonna give it a 6 on price because like you could definitely find something just as cute, just as flouncy, on Etsy for like $10, maybe 15. If you're real adventurous. Although sometimes if you're new to the buying the paper patterns, sometimes Simplicity, the website, keep an eye out because they do like seasonal sales where they'll be selling like $5 a pattern, and then you just have to pay shipping. So if you get enough patterns, it kind of evens it out. My mom and I just got a haul of patterns through their spring sale. So if you want to see what patterns I got, let me know and I'll do something, a short or a video on the patterns that I got and maybe some of the projects I have in mind coming up. I do love filling you guys in because you know what, sometimes you guys have better ideas than I do. So that's always nice. Size options. 6 to 22, that's not bad. I'd give that a 9.5. That's pretty good. So overall, I'd probably give this pattern like a 6 out of 10 thimbles. 6 out of 10 thimbles. I think that's fair. Definitely don't attempt it as your first craft, but like if you've had a few under your belt and you deal well with stress and you work well under pressure, give it a whirl. Also, I have an Instagram now for this channel, so be sure to go check that out and please tag me. There is a tag to put in your post of anything that you were making that you want to share with me, whether I inspired you or somebody else inspired you. Please share it with me. I would love to see what you all are making and creating. What's your favorite stuff and what's the worst stuff you've made. I want to see it all. So please share that with me. I would love that. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one for part 3 of the wrap dresses. This one's good. This one's good.
I keep on falling for